Or you start, I'm sorry.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Blab Lab. And I'm so excited that today we have Johnine Byrne with See Your Words. Johnine, why don't you say hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm Johnine. You can call me Jo. It's easier than Johnine. I am a graphic recorder, and Jen has been nice enough to invite me to record the Blab today. So you're going to see me taking visual notes for the hour that we're on. So let's get to it.
So a lot of people ask me, Johnine, if what you do is like just drawing. Will you explain how it's different than just like drawing? Well, in that, okay, let me just say this. So like you don't usually know what the person is saying before you start.
No, I don't. Most of the time I have an agenda. I have a title. And so from this title, I know you guys are going to be talking about Twitter. And I know a little bit about Twitter. I'm going to know more at the end of this hour. But for the most part, I get invited to all kinds of meetings, people talking about anything from, I don't know, healthcare to education. I don't know what the topic is. I'm not a content expert on everything. I'm just a really good listener. So I am reflecting back to the group real time what y'all are talking about.
Okay. All right, cool. So you get it, you guys, like she draws the connection between, she shows like the flow of ideas graphically. And so she's like taking notes, but with pictures. So yes, a visual stenographer, says Craig. Exactly. I like that too. Okay. So Tech Bloke, you want to come and take a seat and join me? We're ready to start talking all about Twitter. Everybody meet Saad. Saad is in Singapore. I guess you are, unless you've already gone to Sydney. We're going to wait for him to pop in here. And the reason I'm holding my microphone up here like a goober is because everybody has told me I have terrible sound, and I'm working on that. So try it again. Okay, he's got to restart his browser. So that's why I'm holding this up here. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about, thank you, girlfriend. Well, I put it down, so I don't know how it sounds now because I can't hold that the whole time. So we're going to talk today a lot about Twitter because, I mean, put number 1 in the comment box. For those of you who aren't like experts like Eileen at Twitter, the rest of you guys, if you're seeing all this action on your Twitter account ever since you joined Blab or Periscope, but you're not quite sure how to leverage that, so put a number 1 in there if that's you. So Jenny says that's her. Yep, Compass Media. Yeah, totally. Seeing lots of ones. Okay, so this is exciting for me because I teach Twitter, so that's good. That's good for me and exciting for me because I love to be able to share this information. Next thing I want to do is have everybody type /Q. So it's going to look like this without the space. And then I want you to type in what you had for breakfast and where you're watching from. Okay, everybody do that in the comment box. So you're going to do /Q without the space, like what I just put in there. There you go. Oatmeal from Virginia, yogurt in Rhode Island. No breakfast yet in Florida. Philly, what'd you have, Eileen, for breakfast? Pop-Tarts. No breakfast yet. In LA, you just got, it's early there. It's early, Jenny, for sure. Cereal from Dublin. Did you have Irish oatmeal? Okay. And let's see here. Good job. Okay. So fried eggs, you're going to laugh. I had a peanut butter and jelly waffle, my son's fault. There's protein in that. So I think that sounds like a perfectly good breakfast. This sounds like reject Sleepless in Seattle movies. Totally does. He lovers them up. Okay. The reason I wanted you to do that is because when you have a question to ask during the Blab, you need to be able to format it that way so that we see your question and it doesn't get missed. At the end of this broadcast, what we're going to do for a few brave volunteers is evaluate your Twitter profile. And if you would like for us to, we're going to look at it and see what's working for you, see how you might be able to be more strategic and make your Twitter profile work for you and your business. Okay. So first, let's get, all right, Marissa. So we're going to need you to you'll have an opportunity to take a seat and ask your question as well, everybody, especially all you blab newbies that are coming over here from the front row. Hey, Sean, welcome. So if you haven't been to my Facebook group yet, it's facebook.com/group/in-the-front-row. We talk about digital marketing strategies all day long. There's a lot of free tutorials over there, not just about Twitter, but on Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook and everything. And I really thought that I had nailed the Twitter color today with my blue shirt, but I didn't. So I'm Facebook blue. Check that out. So I should be talking about Facebook, but we are talking about Twitter, and that's all right. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about is lists. So I'd love for if anybody wants to pop in as we're talking about lists and share some case studies, how you've used lists successfully and the ways that you use lists. But right now, I'd love to see how many people feel like they're using lists in a really smart way. It is more like Aqua, Eileen. So number one, if you are not using lists strategically. All right, life changer. All right. Good job, Marissa. Okay. I made one and then stopped. Okay. So I like to start with lists because here's why. Lists are the only way that Twitter makes sense. Okay. Lists are how we organize all those people that we're following. So you might be following SpongeBob and you might be following the Dalai Lama and everything in between. So if you organize people into lists, what that enables you to do is click on that list at any time and immediately see what that segmented group of people is talking about. And you are the one who made that segment, right? So if it's people who you've identified as savvy real estate agents or people who are your favorite go-to news sources, or your favorite journalists or your favorite brands, whatever it is, you're able to click on that list and immediately see what that group of people is talking about, which is so cool. So number one, everybody, Sean, I need to read that. Everybody should create a list today when you're done with this broadcast, and it should be a local list. So if nothing else, you need to have a list of your favorite local organizations, your fire department, your news outlets. But if you live in Idaho or Des Moines, you should have a Des Moines list, Des Moines peeps, call it something like that. All right, let's let Tech Bloke come in. Because Tech has some. Hey, Saad, welcome. Are you in Singapore today?
Yes, I am in Singapore right now.
When are you leaving for Australia?
22nd.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about you?
Well, hey guys, my name is Saad. I'm based in Singapore. People often know me as Tech Bloke. And sometimes people just call me that. I'm okay with that. So basically what I do is I help entrepreneurs to pretty much launch their program online. Could be membership site, could be anything. I specialize in creating funnels and driving paid traffic to a funnel so that it converts. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
And why don't you put a link into the chat box to your awesome new Facebook group? Because it's really great. His group is full of help. So if you have a question, Saad and who is it? Jason, who is your business partner?
Sean, Sean. And now we also get Courtney sometimes on. So yeah, it's growing. We just started as an experiment on Blab. I mean, I did not even know Sean before. But it just sort of came together because we were all interested in tech and there were no like tech shows available on Blab. So we thought, why don't we just create one? And that's how it sort of got started.
Amazing. Well, and many of you have probably, met Saad either on Periscope or within Blab itself because you are so helpful and on so many levels. All right. So what we're talking about right now is lists, Saad. And I was just saying that how important it is to first step, like after you set up your beautiful Twitter profile, is you want to make sure that as you start to follow people that you put them into lists and so that you can keep the conversations organized. If you haven't done that and you've already followed 500 people, don't worry about it. You don't have to retroactively go and do that. But moving forward, as you add new people, it's a good habit to get into. And actually, you don't have to follow people to add them to a list, but understand that they aren't likely to follow you back either. So if it's somebody who you would like to follow you, go ahead and follow them.
Right.
And then I want to answer this question from Sean. Sean says, can you address it from, and thanks for putting that link in there, Sean, I appreciate it. Can you address it from both sides, like the value of being added to a list and the value of creating a list? So I personally don't find, I don't get it. Not that I can tell, I don't get a ton of traction from being added to a list. I mean, it increases your clout score. It looks good. It's cool to see that you're added to hundreds and hundreds of lists. So it kind of shows that you've developed some sort of reputation for yourself. Kind of makes you feel good about yourself. But I can't tell you that there's been sort of a direct correlation or an ROI or anything from being added to a list. But it's nice. That means people are wanting to hear what you have to say if they take the trouble to put you into a particular list. Far more valuable on the other end of creating the list is what I would say to that. What would you like to add about lists, Saad?
I mean, frankly speaking, I think without list, Twitter is sort of broken, for me at least, because, when I started, I actually have an account, my full name, Saad Kamal, you can check it out. I'm one of the very early users of Twitter, but then I sort of rebranded, so I kind of created this account. And when I first started, I was following maybe 20 people, 30 people, and I was so addicted to Twitter because, every time someone posts, like if I were following you, Jen, I would see every single post that you posted. But now, after 10 years, it's a different scenario. Like, we follow thousands and thousands of folks. So it's like a river. You can never really see anyone's post unless you are there at the right time to sort of catch what's flowing through. So I think what I do use lists for is pretty much like, group people so that, so I am using it in a very weird way. So for example, I actually have a stock list. People I want to literally stalk in a good way, and it's private. So basically, I follow them, but I know that I will never see their updates. They're industry influencers, and I want to make sure that I comment to every single post they make. I want to favorite their posts. I want to make sure I can retweet their stuff. So, if you're on my stock list, I pretty much see everything that you do, and there are only maybe 20, 25 people there. So I think there are different ways you can actually use lists, but that's basically just one example.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Like just to have a really list of people who you want to make sure you don't miss a thing that they say. And I love that. That's a great idea. I like to use Twitter lists and a lot of you who are part of the front row have heard this until you're probably nauseated, but I really love to use lists as sort of a tap on the shoulder is what I call it. So basically you name your list. If it's a public list, or if it's private, you want to make sure and give it a positive name, but name your list in a way that makes the person who gets the alert that you've added them to the list want to come back and check you out. So it's just a tap on the shoulder. It's a way of saying, hey, you might want to check me out. So maybe I create a list that says people who would make awesome guests on my Blab show. All right. And then you add the person to the list, they're going to get an alert that they were added to that list. People who would like to be interviewed on Jennifer's awesome Blab show, they're going to go back and check me out. And when they do, I'm going to have a very clear banner and call to action on my Twitter profile. It's going to say exactly what I'm all about. I'm going to have a tweet, a graphic tweet pinned to the top of the feed. And then I'm going to have a really rich bio completely filled out that doesn't leave anything to the imagination, because you can't, it doesn't serve you to just be clever and cute, just say it, just be straightforward who you are and what you have to do. Wouldn't you agree, Saad?
Yeah, totally. I think both of us have pinned tweets right now, pretty much. And I think you have to figure out that, that's the first thing that people see. Like, if someone follows me or if you follow somebody, most likely they're going to click on your profile. They're going to look at three things. First, they're going to look at your profile photo or your logo or whatever. They're going to look at your bio, which is also important. Like it's just dawns me like how so many people leaves their bio like empty, which is crazy. And then they're going to look at like the last few tweets that you have been doing. If it's like all links, most likely, you're not going to get a follow back. But obviously the first pin tweet should be like the best thing, or should be like the thing that you really want people to, It's like your CTA. It's like a call to action to doing whatever you want them to do. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
And then the other thing about lists is, and I don't do this as much as I should. Well, two other things is, one is if you can subscribe to someone else's list. So if there's someone who you're following that is an influencer to you in your business, okay, and you go to their Twitter profile, you can look and see their list that they've created, or list that they've created. And so let's say Brian Fanzo has and I think he does have a list of like his favorite scopers, okay, his favorite people on Periscope. Well, Brian knows his way around Periscope, so I'm going to go to him to see who he recommends that I follow on Periscope. So if I subscribe to that list, it automatically becomes listed on my page as a list. So I can utilize that list, and I didn't have to go to any trouble to curate it. The other thing is your list can become pieces of content in and of themselves. And this is what I was talking about that I don't really take advantage of or use as much as I should, but you could, if you, let's say you're a realtor and you create a list and you're in Chicago's best pizza places. You could take that list, and there's an embed code, and you can embed that on your website or on your blog. And then you can invite people also with a link to that list to subscribe to that link, and then they get to utilize that information. Are we missing any questions about lists before we move on to analytics?
No, I think we're good.
I see some talk about IFTT. That IFTT is amazing. One thing I have noticed though is that, so IFTTT is if this then that. For those of you who have never seen it, I think there's a link. Someone put a link in there. Definitely worth checking out. We're not going to go deep into that today, but essentially it's a free software that allows you to connect apps and devices together seamlessly. And it's very, very cool. And you create recipes telling the devices and the applications what to do. So with Twitter, you could say, if anyone tweets out with the hashtag blab, add them to the list blabbers. Okay. And so all this happens in an automated fashion, and you don't have to curate it. The only thing is, while it used to be so flattering to be added to lists, now it's like a dime a dozen, because you can tell when you're being added with IFTT. Nevertheless, if you're doing it as a utility and you really want to create a list of people who use the hashtag meatballs, then, do it. It's great. I do it. So it's, I'm just saying. Okay. All right, Saad. So tell us, you've got some really good info about analytics that people are overlooking. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So, I know many of you probably know that, Twitter has an ad platform, which is built into Twitter. So if you want to, get targeted followers, or you want to pretty much, get leads so that they can click on your link or CTA, whatever, you can actually promote your tweets or your profile using Twitter. So a part of that is actually Twitter Analytics, which is actually it's a free tool. I'm going to post the link in a bit. So what it does is that even if you are not using Twitter to post ads, you can actually access the analytics, and that analytics keeps a lot of information about your Twitter account and also the general Twitter data pretty much. So you can do a lot of searches. You can figure out what's trending. Like you can figure out why something is trending. So you can really dig deep into that. And I think it is particularly very useful, especially if you do any sort of Twitter chats and you want to sort of see how, when something is, gets buzzed out and stuff like that, you can really, really get into detail. So what I would suggest everybody is go into the Twitter Analytics and actually take a play around with it. and then you can pretty much get an idea of what we are talking about. But I should say that there are so many different kind of analytics software as well outside of Twitter. So I use something called SumAll. I'm going to put the link here, which actually summarizes what's happening with my particular Twitter account. So I can see like how many followers I have like since last week that has grown, and which countries they're coming from, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of cool stuff, and they actually send me a daily report, which is cool, on email, and it's a free service as well. However, what Twitter Analytics does is that it's not your data per se, but it's the general data of whole Twitter. So if you are actually, it's made for advertisers. So if you're like really wanting to dig into like what's a popular keyword or what's a popular hashtag that I want to use with this particular tweet or some stuff like that, you should check out Twitter Analytics.
Okay, but can you, let's see, I've got the link right here.
Yeah, so it's, I think, analytics.twitter.com.
So
if I quickly can run through. So when I go to my Twitter Analytics, this is what I see. What are the top tweets that has been sent, and how many impressions that has received? What are the top mentions? Like my summary of like September. So how many new followers I've received? How many people came to my profile? What is the number of mentions, etc.? Who's my top follower? And this is also important, like, who's following. Like if you are like managing a brand page, you want to know which influencer is following you. So I have somebody who is a verified profile and she's followed by 2.8 million people, and she's following me. So I don't know if that makes me feel any good, but yeah, that's good. So there are like stuff like that. But obviously you can dig deep. So if you go into there are tabs. So actually I can see exactly which of my tweets, how many impressions it had received, what is the engagement rate, and so on. So it's very similar to Facebook page insights, if you are familiar with that, so that you can pretty much see what kind of tweets are working, and what's not working, and so on.
So Eileen asked, did you see her question, what your favorite feature?
Yeah, so Eileen is asking, what's the favorite feature for Twitter Analytics? I think my favorite is the Twitter activity, which is a second tab. So basically, sometimes I just go there to look at what kind of tweet works. And they don't actually do the time thing yet, which I really like for Facebook. Like I can literally see that if I post at 6 a.m., maybe there is less engagement versus 2 p.m. And actually there is a cool new tool I know this is not a Facebook show, but there is a new tool by BuzzSumo that actually does that really well. And you can spy on your competitors and whatnot. But the thing is, for Twitter, unfortunately, they don't do that on this analytics, but I think that would probably be my favorite feature, because I can kind of get a summary of what's working and what I need to dial down on, what I need to sort of dial up, stuff that is working.
Yeah, and I love, it's like a beautiful interface, at least when you look at it from your computer, and you can see monthly what your top tweets were, how many people looked at your profile from your tweets. So definitely something you want to check out. I mean, it's just right there in Twitter. It's free. You might as well use it. I want to go up here to a question about, do I need to follow everyone who follows me? And the answer is absolutely not. You do not have to. I think Twitter started with that. That was sort of the understood etiquette, follow me, I'll follow you. You don't have to do that at all. And a great thing to keep in mind that a lot of people don't realize is that you are limited when you start your Twitter account to following 2,000 people. So you do not want to waste your follows on people who are just broadcasters, meaning people who maybe are super famous or just have so many followers that they don't follow back. They just put their stuff out to the world. They don't really want to hear what you have to say. So what I recommend doing, I use manageflitter.com, and that is, what'd you say, Ted?
I love that, ManageFlitter.
Oh, I thought you said I'd never heard of that, and I was like, what?
No, that is this is the most. I mean, it's like the ninja tool, right? So if you really want to do anything on Twitter, get that tool. I pay $12 like every month happily. Like that is the best $12 I spend every month, really.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat, you guys, manageflitter.com. And I am an affiliate, and I didn't even put my affiliate link in there, but it doesn't matter that I'm an affiliate. I think anybody becomes an affiliate automatically if you sign up with them. I just recommend them to everyone. Here's the reason why, you guys, is, and I do have a free tutorial on my YouTube channel that you can get to if you go to jenlehner.com. And I really need to bit.ly my YouTube channel because I don't have enough followers to have a custom URL yet on YouTube. But anyway, it is, the reason it's so phenomenal is that it allows you to put in some really powerful filters. One of my favorite ones being follow people who have a small follow back ratio, which will tell me that the people who I'm following are likely to follow me back. That means like they're following 100 and they're being followed by 100 or 99. Once you hit your 2,000 follows, if you don't have, I think it's like, what is it, like 1,890 people who are following you, Twitter just stops. It just stops and it won't let you follow anyone else until that ratio becomes right again. And then once it gets close, then you can start following more people. I did verify my website, my YouTube channel, Eileen. I think the problem is that I accidentally, I can't believe I did this, but I made my YouTube channel on my personal channel and not my business channel. So I'm working with somebody on that. Okay. In your opinion, what is the number one benefit of getting all these followers? That is such a good question. That is such a good question. It's always so good to zoom out and look at why in the hell we're doing all this anyway. You know what I mean? Like we jump right into, that's such a good point. Like jump right into analytics and lists and everything else when we really need to be saying, why are we even doing this? And what does it even matter? So it's kind of like this, in my opinion, and I would love to hear what you have to say and anybody in the chat who wants to comment as well. My opinion is that if you are, if your point of using Twitter, this platform, is to get the word out about what it is you have to offer, if you are marketing your services, your products, then it's a numbers game, right? So if you have more people following you, then that is more people who will see your stuff. That's it. That's just the bottom line. So are they all going to see your stuff? They are not all going to see your stuff. But if they don't follow you, they're really not going to see your stuff unless you use a hashtag, which we'll move on to in a moment. We'll talk about hashtags briefly. Unless you use a hashtag that is something that people are following. What do you think about that, Saad?
Well, I mean, for me, obviously, you whoever asked the question, and let me quickly take a look. It's I think Craig, right?
Yeah, it was Craig.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, that's actually a great question, and I know that sometimes we get fascinated and we get like egoistic about this number, like I have this many followers. But you're absolutely right, Craig and Jen, that that number doesn't matter. For me, I think the biggest benefit is that I follow people because I want to connect with them. So I use Twitter. I know sometimes I do broadcasts and whatnot. So I do use buffer and stuff like that. So I wouldn't lie that, it's not 100%. I mean, it's not 100% manual. There are some automated stuff. I'm using IFTT and stuff like that. However, I have met some amazing people through Twitter, and just because of the reason I followed them, they looked at if I had like one follower, imagine, would you follow me? Probably not, because that's something that you are also thinking that maybe this guy is like a spammer or whatever. So I think that's social proof, even though I kind of agree that it's not the main thing, but you do need that credibility to sort of build up. And I think that kind of helps. So for example, in the comments, I can see Elena, she's a CPA, and I kind of met her on Twitter, and now look, she's here on Blab. So I think it's very important that, you mention people, not just follow people, but try to actually meet them, like, like you would meet them in a coffee shop or meet them in the real life, mention them, talk to them, have a conversation, because I think that's the power, and not just like, following and saying, oh, I have X many followers, because many of them may not engage with you. So what's the point?
Such a good point. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this, because I didn't mention also on Manage Flitter that it's not about getting followers just for the sake of followers, right? Like, you don't just want any follower. So what we're trying to do is find people who we are interested in to follow. So maybe we're interested in following people because they might be someone who wants to purchase our product or service, or maybe we want to follow people who we're just interested in because they're smart, or they have things to say that we want to engage with these people. So Manage Flitter does allow you to do that, but free within Twitter is advanced search. This is after lists, I would say, and you probably agree, Saad, that advanced search is probably one of the most underutilized tools on Twitter. And what you're able to do is go into advanced search, and thank you for putting that link in there. You go into advanced search, and so Craig, and this will get to your question about, deep engagement, because this really allows you to engage very deeply with your audience. So if you go into advanced search and you type into exact term or phrase, and you guys can click on that link that Saad put in there, and it won't make you leave blab. Like, you can hear me talking and you can look at this form while I'm explaining it. So if you go over to advanced search, and I love doing this, and Saad, if you have a better query, give it to me, but like, I'm going to type into this exact phrase. I will be an empty nester. Okay. And then I'm not going to narrow that down by location. But if I was a local business who was focusing on the type of person who's going to be an empty nester soon, meaning that their kids are getting ready to go off to college in Chicago, I might add Chicago in there, but I'm going to leave it without a location. And I'm going to click search. And then I'm going to click, so immediately it shows me all these tweets of people who say, it's hard to believe this year I am going to be an empty nester, and on and on and on, because that's how people talk. And that's the kind of stuff. So when you're doing a search and you want to join into a discussion or see if people are saying certain things about a certain topic, you can literally type that phrase in there. You can see that when you see the tweet, then it's perfectly appropriate to start engaging with that person, because Twitter is a giant billboard. And where that might be kind of creepy to engage on their Facebook page, because you should be their friend kind of before you jump in and comment, on Twitter it's perfectly fine. So you can start a meaningful dialogue with people and become friends and connected in business and all sorts of stuff. I mean, really, a few tweets can change the course of your business and even the trajectory of your life. And I'm not even being dramatic. And it's just, if you think about Twitter for what it is, and that is the most open network and platform on planet Earth with the freshest news available. I mean, just shy of Blab now and Periscope, but I kind of lump that in with Twitter as well, right? So if you think about it in that way, it's just there for you. And like what Marissa pointed out so correctly over there in the chat, is that not only is it a place for you to share your stuff, it's the most marvelous place to listen, because just as that example shows, like, who's concerned about being an empty nester? Who's looking for a good haircut? Who just got in a car wreck today? People tweet the way they talk, but they do it in a much more concise fashion, because a tweet consists of 140 characters and an ideal tweet consists of 120 characters. So you have room for the retweet.
Yeah, I mean, I actually posted the link just now. It's a search, like, I am looking for basically it's looking for a hotel, and then New York, NY. And look at that. Like, there are so many folks looking for a hotel in New York. And these are like tweets from quite recent. Like, if you go to live, you can actually see like lots of tweets that are quite recent. So if you're a hotel, pretty much, this would be a very good way to, engage with those customers and, sort of convert them to come to your hotel in New York. So I think there are like advanced search is definitely one of the very, very, very cool tools that everyone should be using. I mean, if you're not using advanced search, you're missing out big time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. That's a great example. Fantastic example. So, what about promoted tweets? Saad, have you messed around with promoted?
I mean, I haven't gotten a hell lot of result with that, but I did for a client. So basically, there are two types of ad platforms. I mean, two types of ad type on Twitter. One is promoted tweets and one is promoted accounts. So let's say I want to promote my account, Tech Blog, on Twitter. I can basically do that. And there are some different targeting options that Twitter gives you. And then they will basically show my account, like, pretty much would say follow Tech Blog, pretty much. But then the other one that Jen is talking about is promoted tweets, where let's say somebody has I have sent out a tweet and I just want that to show up on everyone's feed of my target audience. I can do that. And I think it works depending on, how cool how detailed you are with your targeting. Twitter does now allow you actually to upload your own list, which is awesome. So meaning that, let's say you have a big enough email list, let's say 10,000, 15,000, whatever, you can actually upload that on Twitter, not directly. So you need to go through an ad partner. But what happens is that you can literally target those folks. So obviously Facebook had this for years, like with custom audience, and actually you can now do that with Twitter as well. But I do want to point out something that is not many people know about, is that you can also promote other people's tweet. So let's say I am a hotel and Jen has stayed in my hotel. So she wrote a tweet saying, this is the best freaking hotel in New York. And what I can do is I can actually promote that tweet. So it's a social proof, guys. Like imagine, like if I say, oh, I'm the best hotel in town, no one's going to believe me. But if Jen says it, I think that is kind of what, it's going to be automatically something that people are going to believe. So that is something you can definitely look into.
Good point. Another great use of Twitter outside of just, growing our businesses and our followings and everything is for consumer advocacy, right? So for your own consumer advocacy, to self-advocate. Okay. So I can't tell you how many times I have picked up the phone to call a 1-800 number, whether it's AT&T or Delta Airlines, or I don't even need to mention any names, but various, big behemoth companies, and like nothing, you get put on hold forever, whatever. You tweet, better yet, you tweet with a picture or a video about what's going on, pretty much instant rectification of the problem. So I just wanted to sort of throw that out there because Twitter is just great for that. And now with Periscope as well, I mean, if something bad is happening, brands really have a lot to be worried about, I suppose, because you can just, if the flight attendant is mean to you, then you can just show the world. But I don't want to give you any ideas because that would be kind of mean. But okay, so let's see here. What do we have here? Are we missing any questions before we move on to talk about our profiles?
Quickly checking. No, I think we are good.
Okay.
And guys, if you want to ask a question, do type /Q, because now I love this new feature of Blab where actually everyone kind of get the divisions, right? So all mentioned and questions. So that's how I'm basically tracking it. So if you use the /Q, it's so much easier.
Absolutely. It's /Q and then put your question in there. Then we won't miss it. And what Saad is talking about, did you guys notice in the chat at the very top, it says all mentions and questions. So Blab has now made it so that we can differentiate, filter stuff out, which is really cool. Okay. With regard to our profiles. So I always like to mention profiles, and what we can do is we'd be happy to look at your profiles and give you some feedback if you want to put your profile into the chat box, and then we could bring you into the hot seat You can ask us questions and we can look at your profile, and we can all look at it together in the room so that we can all be on the same page, literally. But with regard to profiles, well, actually, before we get to profiles, let's just talk about engagement really quick. I'd like to talk about how it is, like very specifically, how it is you're engaging with your audience. Like, what does that look like for you, Saad?
On Twitter, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, first of all, I think I look at the mentions the most. So oftentimes I'm not even looking at what people are posting. Yeah, once in a while I would, because, you know, we are on Twitter on different devices. So I am on maybe TweetDeck. I have my Twitter on my iPhone and my Android. So it's all over the place. But when someone mentions me, and it could be like, for example, like this blab, for instance. So if you have been to any of my blabs, usually you must have received a tweet from me. And because that's what I try to do. Every time somebody engages with me, retweets, like Tell a Little Bard, for example, for my shows, what I do is I would respond to every one of them and saying like, thank you. And, you know, I would, you know, maybe ask them to join my Facebook group. I may even say like if they had a particular comment or something. So I would, it's not the same copy and paste, believe me. And basically what I try to do is I try to make it relevant for that person. And I know I can actually see a lot of folks here who are in my community as well, like, you know, on Tech Blab. So, you know, they can attest to it that I do send out those tweets. So I think that's one way of engaging. The other way is that, you know, even if you don't know somebody, Twitter is a very open platform, like Jen mentioned. So if you have an opinion and a comment, don't hold it. I mean, just don't keep it to yourself. Go out there. You can tweet out. You can send a reply. I have, I mean, had conversation with a lot of influencers who I would have never imagined talking to. But on Twitter, it's so easy. And sometimes they do respond. I mean, not all the time, but, you know, sometimes they do respond. They do try to, like, they are open to creating these relationships because, you know, it's so easy for them. Like imagine sending an email versus sending a tweet. It's like, it's so much easier. So I definitely support, like, I mean, I am always looking at the mentions, which is basically the second tab on Twitter. I'm always in the mentions. I'm looking at mentions who are following me, because now Twitter lets you switch between these two. I don't know if people actually notice that, but you can actually switch between all mentions versus mentions only from your followers and stuff like that, or people you follow, for instance. So yeah, I'm totally doing that. What about you, Jen? What do you do?
Yeah. Oh, you just said so much good stuff. Like, first of all, anybody with a Twitter handle you can communicate with. This is unbelievable. Okay. So it used to be 100 years ago, not really, but like in the 90s. And if you wanted to communicate with someone, you had to, like, first there's the cold call, right? Like you had to call someone and then you had to get through the receptionist and then, you know, what is this regarding and la, la, la. And it pain in the took us, right? So then we got email, which is great. But then then we all got covered up in email. And it's like, don't we hate email? We get so much email. So it's really hard to manage, and we push it to the look at later pile. But a tweet, I don't have to have their email address. I don't have to have their phone number. Guess who has an email address, a Twitter account? Queen Elizabeth, the Dalai Lama, the Pope, the president, every single elected official who has electricity, pretty much. I mean, everybody has a Twitter handle now, and you can communicate with people, and people do tend to read their tweets. Now, they may not reply back to you, but they might. But here's the thing, you guys, this leads me into video. Everybody needs to be using video. Everybody has a phone. Most of them are high definition now, right? So if this happened to me yesterday, a guy replied to one of my tweets with a video tweet. And you better believe, like, I went and I followed him on Twitter and I added him to a list, and he was totally adorable. But even if he wasn't, it was like the fact that he made that effort really, he differentiated himself. He stands out from the crowd, and you can do that as well. So not with everybody, but sometimes it's just really fun to pick up your phone, and then when you get a tweet, you can hit reply, and then you click on the little camera button. And then you click on, it defaults to like the hard camera, you know, like the the camera. Then you click on the video camera and you just look right out there. Keep it under 30 seconds. Like, hey, Saad, great show today. Thanks so much for joining me. You're the best. I'm going to come and see you in Singapore. See you later. And then send. So now there's a voice, and like pretending he never saw me before. There's a voice now and a face and a human being that's connected to that tweet. It's amazing. Also on video, you can create a short video about yourself, your service, your message, your nonprofit, your song, your dreams, whatever. And you can pin it to the top of your Twitter page. So what we talked about pinning a tweet to the top of your Twitter page earlier, you can pin a video. So, wow. If you're a nonprofit and you've got a big, fundraising campaign coming up, great thing to do. Speaking of fundraising, I want to take a moment for this commercial break to remind you to go to blabathon.org. This is being put on by John, who is at Human2. He's a rock star on Blab. And what it is, it's a fundraiser to try to help Jamie, who's a 14-year-old up-and-coming podcaster here on Blab. Most of you have probably seen him on one Blab or another, and he needs a new computer. And so the community is trying to raise $4,000. And as of like yesterday afternoon, they already had like $1,500. So it's blabathon.org. Thank you, Saad, for putting that in there. Yeah. But look at that. I mean, people are just giving money because there's faces and voices. We would never do that if it was just text-based Blabathon, not this fast anyway. All right, what questions did I miss as I was on that big rant or rave?
So there is a question from Eileen, which how do you balance automation with tweeting live?
Oh, that's that's a great question. For me, this is the way I do it. Everybody would be different. Like I love an app called Kite, Kite, just like the kind of kite that you fly. And it works with Buffer, which is my favorite automation app. Everybody has their favorites. There's Egger, there's Hootsuite, there's all sorts of good stuff. I love Buffer because I could upload raw video and it will share as a native video to a variety of platforms. But I use Kite and I find relevant articles and I automate through Kite and Buffer. Okay, so let's just say Buffer to keep it simple. So I automate certain content like, when Instagram has an update or Pinterest has an update, or there's just something that is relevant to my audience, I have that automated. Everything else, I don't automate anything. Like my actual interactions with people, I do not automate and say, thanks for the follow. And please let me also take a moment to implore you to not send a automated direct message. Raise your hand if you agree, Saad. I'm raising my hand. Put a 1 in the comment box if you do not like automated direct messages.
Oh my God. I mean, I've been ranting about it for like ever. Everywhere I can, like every opportunity I find. And, I need to vent this out really. Like, I don't understand why. Okay, fine. I understand why you're trying to send an automated message. But the thing is, sometimes these automated messages are like, hey, how do you use Twitter for personal or for business? And it's like a question. So it seems like these people actually have read like a marketing book where it said like, hey, don't just post a link, post a question. So they read that page, then they forgot to read the rest of the pages. So basically when I answer, and by the way, try to answer most of the DMs because I want to annoy them back. So I would say, oh, I use it for personal and for business. What about you? Believe me, to this date, I've never received a single reply. I've never received a single reply because these people are not ready to give you replies. They have just set up that thing and auto DM, and then they forget it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just so icky, right? Like, I mean, it's just real. I mean, some things make sense to automate. Communication like that, in my opinion, it completely is the antithesis of what this is supposed to be about. It's fake. It's just so fake. I agree with what you said. Joe Wilson says, it's a great way to show you don't care. And, it's so true. And I don't have the time now to like unfollow everybody who sends me a direct message, but I used to unfollow everybody. I mean, unless it's a genuine direct message, but the problem is it's very hard to comb through all the trash to find the real good ones, But I wanted to, one thing that I left out before when I was talking about the video reply is that it's also really great to do a video first message to reach that person who seems so unreachable, but you really have an idea or a thought or just something you want to share with that person who just seems so out of your reach. I challenge you to make a video of you talking to the person. Make sure you do look in the actual hole of your phone so it doesn't look like you're, you got to be looking right at the hole in the camera and talk to the person and send it and see what happens. I challenge everybody, just pick one person. It can be your mom, but just do that and see what happens. But hopefully you don't feel like your mom is out of your reach. Okay, let's see. There was a question up here, and it was Life Changer says, is my computer, I use my computer when I'm on Twitter, but I believe that's old school. Is there an app or a program I can use to be more is there an app or a program you can use, I guess, is full stop. But so for me, I would just say it's okay to use your computer for Twitter. I really do not love typing on my phone. I've got fat finger syndrome, and so I like tweeting from my computer as well. And I think that that's fine, but I don't use a particular app or program on my phone. From my phone, I just tweet from my phone. So if you haven't, I can't speak about Android, but I see. But on iPhone, it works well. Okay, Saad has to go. Oh my gosh, we've already spent an hour. So thank you so much. And you guys, Saad's going over to do his tech blab, his tech blab. And it's sure to be excellent. So when you're done over here, head on over there. And when I'm done over here, I'm going to head over there. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Before I leave, I just want to give one tip, and this is something that you may not know, but I think most people do. But just make sure and promise me don't abuse this. So actually, many people think that there is a limit in your DM, and there is not. So there is no 140 character limit on your DM. And so that means that you can literally write an essay if you want to. So make use of that in a good way. But yeah, don't send me anything that is nasty or something like that. But yeah, with that note, did they recently remove? They have removed the 140 character limit. That's right, Craig. So yeah, now you can literally write anything you want to. So it is so useful. So it's like an email for me now, because I actually do DM a lot with people. So thank you, Jennifer, for having me. This was great. I actually recommend people to join the Front Row. This is a great Facebook group. And sometimes Jen is pretty active with all the news. So, she would post so every time I go there, I kind of oh, okay, that happened. So that's actually and she has grown that community to 1,000 members, just like that. So that is actually quite an accomplishment. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Okay, I really appreciate it. This has been great. See you. We'll see you over on your blog.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Okay, bye. I just realized I was yelling. I will not forget it. Thank you so much, Life Changer. I will send you that link for sure. I just don't have access to it right this second. Okay, so also I want to take a moment really quickly to tell you what you're looking at for those who just joined the room. This is Janine Byrne of seeyourwords.com. You want to check her out. Her work is amazing. And she's just started doing this on Blab. So she will be offering this as a service to any of you who have a scheduled Blab or an important meeting Blab that you're going to be having. She will be available to do this. You just need to go over to seeyourwords.com and fill out her contact form. Yeah, Joe, it's such a cool idea. She's really so talented. So she's running out of room. So I'm going to wrap it up with we're going to talk about your profile. So your profile is very important. It's very, very important. And I'd love to look at some of your profiles. I'm going to open up I'm going to open up the hot seat if anybody wants to come in with some questions. And then we're just going to start looking at your profiles. So if you want to put your Twitter address in the chat box, we'll check it out. And oh, hey, are you in here the whole time? Congratulations on your new job. All right, we will look at tech studs. Oh, hey, how are you, Stephanie?
I'm doing very good yourself.
I'm doing very well, thank you. So this is Stephanie Dodier, and Stephanie is tell me if I say this right, clinical nutritionist. Right. And she's based in Toronto, Ontario.
Exactly. And I help people understand their body messages and heal with food. And the online world is kind of new to me, so I'm looking forward to get my the feedback on the Twitter profile, because Twitter is something that I've only been playing with for about 3 weeks. Although I've been a long-time member, I've never actually tweeted. So looking forward to feedback.
Okay. All right. We're gonna. I've pulled up Jason's because he put it in the chat. So everybody, if you would scroll up, or Jason, if you could enter your Twitter profile in the chat one more time, because I want everybody to click on it and look at it at the same time, so that we are literally on the same page. Something I really think is so fantastic about Blab, because I like that I could click on it without fear of losing you guys. So I'm just going to assume everybody is there now. And so, I mean, what's a stud without a motorcycle, right? I mean, so as you can see, Jason's banner is totally cool. I assume that he rides those motorcycles, and that's why that picture is up there. And I can't see your comments right now, Jason, but what I would say is, your banner should be, I mean, it depends on what your purpose is. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to hold this thought. This doesn't make sense. Jason, I want to bring you in, but I'm going to let's do Stephanie real quick, and then I'm going to bring you in because it makes sense. Then we can have a conversation. Okay. So Stephanie, let me look at your Twitter profile. And Stephanie, can you put it in the, can you put the link into the chat box, or you guys can just click on her name and click on the blue bird, and that'll take you to her profile, to her Twitter profile. Okay. So Stephanie, your profile is beautiful. Real Food Tribe. That's a beautiful picture. Holistic nutrition coach. So now I'm looking at your what you've written in your bio. Holistic nutrition coach. I specialize in helping people with busy schedules achieve the health they desire without ever having to count a single calorie. Okay, so you've used up all your characters. It looks like it's very descriptive. It tells me exactly what you do. It's pretty keyword rich. So I see holistic and nutrition and coach. I see health again, and the word calorie. I don't know if that's actually a keyword, but the other ones are definitely keywords. Everybody needs to keep in mind that you can put a second link in your bio if you want to. So if she wanted to, if she was promoting something coming up like a webinar, she could put like a bit.ly, a shortened link into that bio. And in addition, have the link to her website, which is underneath her location. She's got her location, and she has a pinned tweet. Actually, Stephanie, I would say that your Twitter profile is pretty close to perfect. It says how to kick those hot flashes to the curb. Join me on Periscope this morning. Hot flashes is hashtag menopause and Periscope. And she's got a fantastic graphic. So you get an A+, Stephanie.
Thank you.
A++. Okay. So do you have any anything you want to share about any Twitter stories, anything you've noticed?
No, I learned about the listing this morning. This is something I'm going to do later today because I don't have lists, and currently my news feed is just all over the place. So I'm going to definitely set up some lists to be able to see different topic at the when it's relevant to me. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Okay. Thank you. All right, let's bring Jason in here. Jason, take a seat. You still here, Jason? There he is. Okay.
Hey, good morning.
So first of all, congratulations, you guys. Jason is now an official member of the Blab team. He was so darn helpful to everybody in the Blab community that they decided to hire him. So that's so cool. All right. So I love let me go back to your profile. Oh, there you are. Okay. So, all right. So official Blab, resident tech geek, and support engineer. Come Blab with me. All right. So first question is, are you going to have will you have a separate Twitter page in your blab capacity?
Probably not. I haven't quite fully decided on that, but probably not.
Okay. All right. So, and then do you have is this going to be your side hustle, or do you have a whole nother, I mean, is this going to be your main thing, or do you have a whole other thing
This is
too?
it for now.
Okay, perfect. And so your objective would be to do what with your, I mean, if you don't have to have an objective, but do you?
Do I have an objective? For my Twitter profile, no, not at this point. So it's a general use profile. So it's personal and a bit of what I'm interested in and what I'm active in. So as my profile has a little bit of everything sort of built into it, it's official blab. I am resident tech geek and support engineer. Come blab with me is just, you know, to invite people to come follow me, that sort of thing. Be your brand. Probably could be removed, but I believe in, you know, the be your brand part, which is, you know, own yourself, own your business, own your who and what you're representing. The other piece is Ride for Dad is a nonprofit organization that I participate in wholeheartedly. It's to help men with male prostate cancer. And prostate cancer as a hashtag in there as well. And then as a link that's not in the profile itself, but just the general link is Blab I Am Tech Stud, just so that people can find me over here.
Okay, well, I think, you know, I think it looks great because, I mean, I assume you ride motorcycles. Okay, are you in that picture?
I am not. I wish I was. That's a pretty damn cool picture.
Can you go that low? It's terrifying to even look at. Like, makes me nauseous a little bit.
It's pretty crazy. What these guys do. It's pretty.
Let's look at your list.
Which list?
Your list. I'm looking at the list. So this is great. So this is all, like, you've got Canadian, amateur radio. So this is great. I mean, this is serving you well for what you want to do with it. So I think it's very, it tells all about you, and I really like it. You've got a pinned tweet. So that's what you want us to see, like, right now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you wanted to, of course, you could include a second link. Like if you took out the Be Your Brand, or if you wanted to, It looks like you might even have some more space there where you could put a link to your favorite prostate cancer cause at the moment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, you know, because you can have two links.
Right. I'm not completely positive how much space I have left in there, because it really doesn't tell you how many characters are left when you're in the edit space for the profile. But yeah, I might actually do that. Actually, I think I had a link in there before. I removed it because I was playing around with the profile a bit, and I think I ran out of stuff, and then I kind of brought it back, but I think I probably didn't put something in there. But I didn't want to just put a blank bit.ly link in there and not have any perspective on what that link is, right? So I really wanted to make it memorable or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll remove the prostate cancer and do something along the lines of bit.ly Ride for Dad, or something like a memorable looking, like a custom link. Yep.
I say in the word what it is. Yeah, but I mean, it's super cool. I've actually seen your page before and thought, wow, it's really cool. So
right.
So great. So anything you want to share with us or ask us?
No, I think Jen, what you're doing is awesome. I mean, there's probably a ton of people that are new, or maybe not new, but not quite aware of how to sort of maximize on Twitter and get their message out a little bit better. The video thing is key. I mean, this whole blab space, the Periscope, the Meerkat, like all this video space in general is absolutely key. If there are so many people that I wouldn't follow on Twitter because of maybe the way that they write their content, how often they write their content, who they are as a person. I don't get a sense of, they don't resonate with me, right? And as soon as I see them and I hear them and I get a sense of who they are by what they say and how they say it and their mannerisms, it starts to resonate a lot more and a lot faster. So then now they've piqued my interest. Now I want to go and investigate a little bit further than just Twitter to find out where else they exist in the internets, and figure out who and what they are and what they represent. And then I will probably follow them.
Totally. Yeah, I echo that completely. It's so true. And, you know, I was thinking about all my introverts, and I'm not one. And I was thinking, I wonder if, you know, blabbing and Periscope is hard on our introverted friends, you know, and all this talk of even doing these, of doing the video tweets and stuff. I realized that not everybody is so comfortable in front of the camera, you know, so it can be a challenge, but you know, you can be very creative in that way too. You have a voice, and maybe if you don't want your face in front of the camera, you could do something like point your camera at a picture and talk, you know, maybe it's a picture of your web page. So you can film your web page and you can talk behind it. You can you know, there are ways you can do this and join the party without, you know, feeling terribly uncomfortable.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an intro, right? So it kind of gets you into doing videos, but without having to see your face, because you might be a little freaked out by that. But there are going to be still people that aren't going to like that because they don't like their own voice. I can tell you, I'm one of those. I can't stand listening to my own voice. Other people find it just fine. But I could never listen to my own voice in here, or I could do a recording. So when I do it, and people are self-conscious in all kinds of ways, so they'll want to replay it and go, oh, I don't like that, let me redo it. Your gut reaction is probably right to some extent, but I think just put it out there and let people give you some constructive feedback. Oh, that was great, first time I've ever seen you, I mean, that was great. You know, they're probably going to be more positive than negative. So, you know, just put it out there, put your first edit or your second edit out there and just leave it, just let it happen. As you continue doing that more and more often, you'll just get that much more and more better at it. It'll just come naturally.
That's great advice. Great advice. All right. Well, I'm going to let Eileen come in here. Eileen, if you're still here, and thank you so much, Jason. And before that, Janine, how are you doing? Do you need to go?
No. Keep going.
Okay, great. Well, because I want to, you know, bid you farewell if you have to leave, and I don't want to.
I appreciate that. I'll let you know if I have to go.
Okay. All right. So waiting on the lovely Eileen. Oh, it's a beautiful day where you are. Where are you?
Actually, I'm at work, and it's right outside of Philadelphia in a little place called Conshohocken. and really, I just wanted to come in here and just to say hi, say how wonderful this whole idea, this whole concept of what you're introducing people. You had Saad here, and you've got Janine over there just doing this incredible graphic. I just love it.
Thank you.
I just want to say to everybody who's watching, who may not feel comfortable to get on here or whatever, Blab is a place where people are very forgiving, and we understand. We want to hold your hand. We want to help you. And what you're getting here is something that people pay hundreds of dollars for, to have someone just to look at their bio and give them some pointers. So I really just, honey, I just wanted to encourage anybody, and I just wanted to give you a high five.
High five back at you, Eileen.
With your little pink hand. And I can't stay, but I just, like I said, I just wanted to encourage anybody, take advantage of this, honey, because this costs money.
Okay. Thank you, Eileen. You're so sweet.
Right, honey.
Have a great day. Bye. She's lovely. Okay. And you guys, actually, I hope she's still in the room. Eileen really puts out fantastic content, like how-to manuals. She did a blab tutorial that is phenomenal. So click over onto her link and her Twitter in her profile and check her out. Subscribe to her YouTube channel, especially. Great blogger as well. Okay, come on. Who's next? Let's look at your profile. Come on in. Take a seat. Don't be shy. You're in good hands. Very good hands. I'm happy to take a look at your profile. You have to take a seat though. All right. So we've got Tom first and then Compass Media, you're next. Okay. Tom is, I'm helping winners to get more success in life. I am a product of my life mechanic mentor. We will also help you to be more successful in life. Okay. Here comes Tom. Hey, Tom. Is this your first blab?
No. But I joined yesterday, so I'm actually scheduling my own blab later today.
Oh, fantastic! And where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Norway.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't. This has really been like the United Nations today. I mean, we've had Singapore and Toronto, and we were going to have Ireland. I don't know where Tweeting Goddess went, but okay, let's look at your profile. So everybody click on Tom's name, and then we're going to see, we are going to see the little Twitter bird that'll take you to his Twitter account, and let's look at it together. Okay. So in the banner, he has a beautiful picture. It says, "What can I do for you?" And then in the bio, it says, "I am helping winners to get more success in life. European leader in UP, in up mindset, in up mindset." Wait, read that to me, please.
I'm helping winners to get more success in life. European leader in UP, mindset student, a professional giver, and I talk to people.
Okay. All right. So I look at that and I don't know what you do. So the next thing I do is I click on your website. This is what I would typically do, right? Or this is what anybody likely going to do when they look at your profile, because we still don't know what it is. So then I click over to your website and that's loading, and you actually are a professional giver.
Yeah.
Exclusive preview of my new training video. Okay, even your website. Okay, so at this point, now this is just my personal take on this.
Yeah.
But I've left the building because I don't know who you are and what you do exactly.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have to. It is provocative. Because I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I am a professional giver and that you're a mindset student and that you help people get sick. What does that mean for me? Will you coach me? Do you have a business that I don't know what you do? I think you need a sentence that says that there, or better yet, as beautiful as your graphic is, that is the biggest piece of real estate you're ever going to get on the internet. I mean, it is humongous, and you're not limited on what you can put in there. So what I would do is fill that with some specific information, even though what you have is pretty and aesthetically, I get what you're going for. It's like simple and peaceful looking, but go ahead and put some information in there so that when I click over here, I'm like, oh, that's the coolest thing. I could use his services, or I want to check him out. Just because you don't have much time when someone comes over here, and you want to quickly get them to where you want to get them. Is there do you want to get them on an email list? Do you want to see a particular video? Why not pin, better yet, okay, this is what you need to do. I see that you've got videos on your website. Why don't you pin an explainer video to the top of your profile? And I love that you are only following 100 people and you have 67 followers. That's a good ratio. And your number of tweets, it's all nice and clean. And you're at the fresh start place. So you can do all this really perfect, you can do it perfectly from the beginning.
Yeah, I just started yesterday, so.
Oh, what, you just started your Twitter account yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, aren't you? This is such perfect timing. Yeah. Yay. So you need to create some lists like we talked about earlier.
I'm going to do that.
Yes, because you only have 103 followers. So you might as well start plugging those into the list. And by the way, you guys, you can put people into more than one list, and you don't have to follow people to put them on a list. Okay. So all right. So Yay. So send me a link to your profile after you make some changes and let me check it out.
Sure,
okay?
Sure, of course.
And good luck with your blab today.
Thank you very much for looking at my profile and everything. So I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Awesome.
See ya. Okay, so now we're going to bring in Compass Media Alan, a digital marketing consultancy, social media management, Facebook, Twitter, marketing consultancy, radio presenter.
That's me.
Well, that's a mouthful. Hey, Alan. How are you?
I'm great, and you? And you just said you were looking for Tweeting Goddess from Ireland, and so you have me. I'm from Ireland.
Ireland's in the house. Woo! Everybody, let's give it up for Ireland. Okay, I love it. Okay. So let's take a look at your profile, if that's what you would like us to do. All right, so everybody click on Alan. Think locally, act globally. Compass Media, okay? And then nice picture of you. Digital marketing consultancy for SMEs, social media marketing management, Facebook, Twitter, marketing consultancy, Ireland, Irish Biz Party, social media. You've got your location and you've got a link to your website. Okay. Okay, slow down on your followers. Okay. I would not follow anybody else. I would go through. I would recommend using Manage Flitter for sure. If you were here when we talked about that.
Yeah, very good too.
Yeah, I mean it really is a game changer, especially for the business that you're in. I think you're going to really love it, and you'll probably end up recommending it to your clients. And then, your bio says clearly what you do, so that's great. I would change your graphic. This is why. Your banner. Your graphic looks like stock photography. It doesn't really set you apart. You look like it looks like 100 other kind of like uninteresting accounts. Okay. But I know that you are not, you are an interesting person. So this Twitter profile should show, it should be interesting. So it doesn't mean it has to be like you don't have to go get a graphic designer or anything. You could just do this in canva.com. But the think locally, act globally sounds great. We all like that. But how does that relate to your company? Like, again, what can you do for me? And your other text is cut off there at the bottom. So I would have your website URL, even though you have it in your bio. I would put it there. If you work with people locally, I would put your phone number. And then I would say, like, I help. What are SMEs?
Small and medium-sized enterprises. So basically what it is I'm trying to, instead of going after big businesses, is like the smaller business, the local shop, not the local shops, but the smaller businesses that are finding it hard to go and are finding it hard to get online, and give them advice, and then try and, advise them that way. So that's where that angle that it's coming from,
Okay, so this is the deal. First of all, there's a huge, huge market for that. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but you will soon find out that your dance card will be full really quickly if it isn't already, because, you can throw a dead cat and hit a business that's like a Southern United States sort of expression. Like, you can't throw a dead cat without hitting someone who needs social media help, especially brick and mortar local small businesses and enterprises. So that's great news for you, because they're very easy to find on Twitter and outside of Twitter. But your banner just needs to say that. Like, I help small to medium-sized enterprises make money using digital tools.
Okay.
Or grow their, that's what you do. And maybe you want to say that you simplify it for people, right? Because people are really scared of social media. They are afraid they have to be a computer, they have to be techie to understand how to make this.
That's the problem we find with them as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I would have a video pinned at the top of you. You're charming, and I would look at the camera and just say, hi, I'm Alan. I'm passionate about helping local businesses learn how to use these tools to reach their ideal client audience, to grow their businesses, la 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 la, and pin that to the top. Have your banner say exactly what you do, and then start building out your lists so that they make sense for you. So you want to start maybe aggregating certain local businesses and give them very flattering names. So what's the name? You're in Dublin. Okay, so Dublin's finest pubs. I have no imagination.
Okay.
But okay, whatever. Dublin's best travel agencies, something like that. And then things that are going to make them click back to you when they add you to the list, and they're going to look at your banner. They're going to see that you're, you have a nice, approachable face. You've got this video. You're clearly likable, and you know what you're talking about, and they're going to call you. Okay.
Brilliant. That's great.
Okay. Anything else I could help you with?
No, that's a great start. I can get working on that now.
All right. Well, so please tweet me your progress. I would love to see what.
Yeah, and thanks for all your help. I'm really enjoying this blab now. I'm delighted I came in on it. And
yeah, me too.
I love to see your words. It's just fabulous.
Thank you. Isn't it amazing? I'm so lucky.
You are. Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Take care. Okay, let's see. We've got a couple questions, and then we got to wrap up. Can I make my own banner photo to profile on Twitter? I think people answered you. Yeah, Canva. Absolutely, you can make it beautiful, life changer with Canva.com. They actually have a template for Twitter headers. Edgar, can you share your advice at my profile? I would be so happy to. Okay, here we go. Thanks for putting that link in there, Jason. Okay. Let's everybody click on Edgar, and Edgar, you got to take a seat. Okay. Edgar, you got to take a seat. There you are. Okay. That's the caveat. Okay. No problem. Turn off your manny cam. All right. So if everybody's clicked over to Edgar's profile, okay, let's see. Oh, where are you? ¿Dónde está? Is that Portuguese? Is that Portuguese or Spanish? He'll be with us shortly, I think. Okay. So I'm just going to let me go back over here to Blab to see if he's in yet. Oh.
Hello.
Hi, where are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. I was checking out the other profiles, and I love your tips on everybody's profile. I'm just wondering what you can do for my own profile.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Portugal.
I thought that was Portuguese. Okay, I'm hearing an echo. Can you turn on your computer? Thank you. No, I think it's me coming from your computer. Okay, so Edgar.
Better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better. Thank
you.
Okay. Logging web. Okay, so it's great because you've got all your information that people need to know about what you do in your header. So that's great. Do you work locally?
I work online. I have a website, and this is how do I say it? It's a parallel work. I am a computer engineer, and I'm working now as a social media, and I working in blogging. I develop some courses, and I teach online with some courses on WordPress, social media. And now I'm creating this account, and I'm focusing my work on social media, and I do all my work online.
Okay, so I have to say this because it's just so plain and obvious to everybody who's looking, is that you have your face is good.
Thank you. Okay.
So okay, so
Did I draw his face right here?
Yes. All I want to say is, Edgar, I'm sure that you have noticed in the online space, in the online marketing space, that it tends to be. I don't know how the word narcissistic translates into Portuguese, but do you know what I mean when I say?
Yes,
okay. So it tends to be like kind of narcissistic, where people in the social media space have their faces plastered all over everything, which can work if you look good. And and so I think that you should. I think that this picture of you is really good, but you should go get a photo shoot done in different poses.
More professional look.
Yeah, I mean that's a good picture right there. It looks very clear and everything. But I would go get a branding photo shoot, and I would brand all your things to really make you stand out, because you have an advantage. You know, not everybody does. So
Thank you.
That's an advantage right off the spot. Okay, had to get that out of the way. Now I think you also need to have more words in your biography. Keywords that people are going to be searching for you, because we didn't speak about this, but Twitter is very searchable. So it's a humongous database, and so you need to have keywords so that you can get found. You need to pin you've got a link to your website, which is good. And like I've been telling everyone, you need to pin a tweet to the top. And along with your professional photo shoot, I would maybe consider getting even like a 1-minute explainer video where you're talking about what you do. I think that would be great as well. And in the meantime, just pin something up there that gives people a call to action for whatever it is that you have going on. And then of course you need some lists. And I like the fact that, your account isn't huge yet, but you need to stop following people. You have 50 follows, and you need to clean that up. And I think you said you just started using Managed Flitter.
Yes, yesterday. I was using Crowdfire for my mobile, but it's very limited. I tried 2 or 3 more apps, but they have limited features. But Managed Flitter is very is a very powerful tool, and I'm cleaning up, and I'm trying to improve my ratio. So
perfect.
I still have a lot of work.
Yeah, perfect. Well, while we're on that topic, if I could, I do have a free training video for Managed Flitter, but for everybody who's in the room, among the filters that you want to put in there are the ratio that we spoke about. And I make mine from like 0.7, I think, to like 2.3, very small ratio. And then you want to make sure that you're following people who have active accounts, who have a profile image, meaning they're not just like an egghead, and who speak whatever language it is that you speak, and then the other filters that would be like who are have certain titles in their descriptions and that sort of thing. But the other basic filters you want to make sure so you don't get a lot of spam accounts. So that's great. So that'll take care of that, and then you create your lists, and you'll be in good shape. So please keep in touch and let me know how it looks after you get your photo shoot.
Okay, thank you for your tips.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to take a picture of this, clean it up in Photoshop, and have that to you in the next 15 minutes, so you can send that out.
Okay. Yes, auto DMs are bad, is the question. Okay, wait. This is what you need to do before you leave, is if you'll go, can you pick it up and then bring it closer to the camera and then just do like one of these so we can sort of scan your work more closely?
I can do that.
And also everybody who has a trackpad, you can pinch, you can go like this on your laptop or your desktop, pinch, and you'll be able to zoom in as well on your screen. So let's look.
I've got to get a new camera tomorrow. So, okay. So we started. Let me get rid of this.
And I got to do a screenshot. I can't believe I didn't do that earlier. Wow. Oh, very funny. Oh, this is cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at the banana. It's brilliant. The banana peel. IFT and Liz creates recipes, apps, plus devices. Tap on the shoulder. Yes, ma'am. Let's see. No, you don't need what to follow. Everybody follows you. Pin, call to action, manage flitter. Ninja tool. I love that. And you mentioned the Blabathon. Everybody go to blabathon.org and check that out. It's, I'm sure, the first of many sort of collaborative fundraising movements that are going to happen on Blab. It's just remarkable. Video tweets. Yes. Look at the director. Oh my gosh. How cute is this? Props for Janine, you guys.
Yay.
Don't abuse. Awesome. You can promote other people's tweets, promoted tweets. Awesome. Hey, will you back up to the 140 thing for a second? So it's, oh, perfect. Yep, you did that right. Okay, keep going. Number doesn't matter. Connection. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Data from whole of Twitter. Yes. Oh, what's that red thing? Free. Oh, love that.
Free. Everybody loves free.
Yes, we do.
All right. Is that about?
That's so fantastic. Now back up one more time. So I got to do a screenshot.
Hold on. Of the whole thing, you mean?
Of like you. I want to see. No, you in there too, because I forgot to do that earlier.
Well, I'm going to send you the JPEG in a few minutes.
No, but it's not the same. I want you in the picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a screenshot of the whole spiel. Okay, cheese. Okay, one more time. What? Okay, do that again. Cheese. Okay. Thank you, Johnny. So much. This is awesome. I'm gonna tweet that.
All right, I'm going to get this cleaned up in Photoshop right now. Bye.
The heck out of this image. Oh, what happened? Bye. Did I freeze up or did you just you? Okay, everybody. Let me see if we have any more questions. John, you missed it, John. I can't believe it. And I talked all about you. We totally promoted the Blabathon. So you want to come in and promote it real quick? And anybody have any questions? My screen got really big and it's hard to, I'm freezing up. I don't know if you could see me, but I froze up. So I'm just waiting to unfreeze. That is really weird. I think I have too many Twitter bios opened up. I'm still frozen. Oh, this has never happened to me before. Okay. I think I'm getting unfrozen. Still in bed. Okay. No problem. I forgot. It's early there. Okay. I met many lovely people who turned me off with auto DMs. Tweet something interesting about yourself or product. Yeah, we talked about a little bit about that before, but we definitely, the consensus was with our guests and everybody in the room that auto direct messages are just the pits. They're nasty. We don't like them. Okay, so do we have any other questions? I guess that's it. You guys, this was so nice having you all here. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind telling a little bird, then people can see the replay. And I've got another Blab scheduled in a few days. And so you can just subscribe to that if you like. And make sure and join me on the front row, which is facebook.com/group/in the front row. Thank you, Life Changer. Tweet me and let me know how everything goes. Okay. And let's see. I think that's about it. And you guys, I'm having a Twitter webinar free on Saturday. If you want to subscribe, you can click at the link in my profile. Okay. All right. Have a great, great day. Bye-bye. Now, how do I leave, you guys? Okay.